Montana scores a $250 million Bitcoin mining farm. Report claims 34,000 Ethereum smart contracts are vulnerable to bugs. Oregon's cheap hydroelectric power is bringing Bitcoin miners like a frenzy. And a Turkish minister proposes a national cryptocurrency? That much and more on today's CryptoTalk.News. Hey YouTube, welcome to CryptoTalk.News. I'm your host, Steve Nelson Jr., and if you guys haven't checked out the channel before, thank you for checking it out. If at any time you like what you hear, go ahead and smash that subscribe button down below. Don't forget, click on the little bell so you can receive post notifications, alerts, every time we upload new content or when we go live. So big day in cryptocurrency. As I said at the beginning of the show, Montana has now been the recipient of what is going to be a $250 million or a $500 million Bitcoin mining campus or mining farm is what they're calling it. This is just in. The Big Sky country, of course, is raking it in. Now, this is the second time in a month that this is going to be the third largest Bitcoin mining facility that's in Montana. They do plan on having it starting by the second quarter of this year, and it's a 2-year process. It's going to be complete. A company called Block Coin plans to invest $251 million over 36 months in Montana's Connections, a special tax district west of Butte. Now, earlier this year, they said that they received blockchain miner interested because of the low electrical costs that they can provide, explained Aaron Tilton, who is the CEO of Blue Castle Holdings. Now, if you don't know, Blue Castle Holdings is a Utah-based holding company best known for its work in the nuclear power plant energy development. So moving into the cryptocurrency mining space really isn't necessarily anything that's really so new for them, and honestly, I believe it's right up their alley. Now, this is quite a revolution for Bitcoin mining, and of course, everybody in Montana is not happy about that. They are excited about having work, but they say that the government is throwing too much money at a fad and giving up too much of their precious land. Now, Mr. Tilton said Bitcoin is the fastest growing segment of cryptocurrency. If it tanks, the same processors can be used for medical research or AI, artificial intelligence. He also suggests that nearly 50 people will eventually be employed at the campus with salaries of around $40,000. Let us know what you think about this $51 million Bitcoin mining facility in Montana down in the comments below. Over 34,000 Ethereum smart contracts containing over $4.4 million in Ether could be vulnerable to exploitation, and this is from a small set of researchers from Singapore and the UK. Now, their technical report, which is currently being peer-reviewed, suggests that millions of dollars in Ether may be at risk from poorly coded smart contracts that contain a variety of bugs. Hey everybody, smart contracts are only as smart as their creators. Finding the greedy, prodigal, and suicidal contracts at scale is the provocative title of a research paper submitted by British and Singaporean students last week. Its authors have dived deep into Ethereum smart contracts, finding contracts that either lock funds indefinitely, leak them carelessly to arbitrary users, or can be killed by anyone. The latter flaw is precisely what happened to Parity last November. Now, come on. The dangers of relying on Ethereum smart contracts that have not been independently audited is well documented. Over $500 million in the last year has been lost due to bad code, and around half that figure involved Ethereum. Now, the most notorious case, as I'm sure you heard of, is the parity bug, which led to $168 million of Ether being rendered permanently inaccessible, though there have been plenty of smaller incidents where inexperienced or inattentive developers have been caught out. Now, this is only a small drop in a big ocean. Now, this research company is said to use tools to evaluate over 1 million smart contracts, and they're saying 3.4% or approximately 34,000 are potentially vulnerable to either hacks, being broken, or otherwise exploited in other ways. Now, of the contracts that the team deemed to be exploitable, approximately 4,905 or $4.4 million in Ether could be withdrawn. Now, the report does continue saying that 6,239 Ether, or approximately $7.5 million, is locked inside posthumous contracts currently on the blockchain, of which 313 Ether, $379,940 worth, has been sent to dead contracts after they've actually been killed. One thing the report deliberately omits is the identity of the smart contracts, so it's not actually naming these smart contracts that have been flagged as risky, but with almost 1 in 20 contracts vulnerable and a jackpot of over $4.5 million worth of Ether up for grabs, determined hackers have every incentive to put this research to the test. Now, what kind of Pandora's box for hackers do you think this is going to open? Leave your comments in the description below. And remember, if you like what you hear, at any time you can hit that subscribe button. We are shooting for 1,000 subscribers. Help us get there. So just a few weeks ago, we talked to you about our own personal business interest of moving to Washington State and starting our Bitcoin mining farm there because power is exponentially cheaper. Also, we've talked about how hydroelectric power is very, very abundant, which makes it very, very cheap out there. But we talked about how Bitcoin mining companies are just flocking out there. There's another Northwest state that has abundant hydroelectric power. Oregon's cheap hydroelectric power is bringing in swarms of Bitcoin miners. Now, over the past few months, quite a few Bitcoin miners have been flocking to regions in the Northwest America, such as places like Vancouver, which Canada is good, and multiple states in the U.S. throughout the Midwest. Now, according to the state of Oregon's regional press, miners are starting operations in their area because of concentrations of cheap hydroelectric power. The average cost for hydroelectric power in Oregon is 3 to 4 cents per kilowatt hour. If you recall back in some of our other videos, which you could find up there about Washington State, you can get hydroelectric power there as cheap as 2 to 6 cents per kilowatt hour. And we talked about Iceland. The price there for renewable wind power is 3 cents to 6 cents. Right now, the Northwest parts of the U.S. have some of the cheapest mining power or cheapest, most abundant hydroelectric power for Bitcoin mining across the globe. I think, as I've stated before, that this is going to continue to bring a swarm of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency miners to the Northwest region of the states. With companies like Google and Microsoft having data centers out there, I think that this could be a mega hub or the start of what's going to be mega hubs of digital currencies or cryptocurrencies or blockchain companies in states like Washington, Oregon, and I believe that they even said Tennessee and Arizona have announced this week that they want to be leaders in blockchain technology as far as bringing blockchain technology businesses to their state. So I think that this is going to be very interesting. I believe that there are a lot of states out there that are looking back on Silicon Valley and thinking of how great it would have been to have Silicon Valley or the tech boom there in their city. And right now, I believe is going to be extremely larger than the tech boom in years to come. Let me know what you think. Do you want Bitcoin mining companies in your state? Do you think your state should adapt something to bring more blockchain companies to it? Let us know in the comments below. And Turkey wants to have their own cryptocurrency. One of the deputy chairs of the Turkey Nationalist Movement Party has actually written a 22-page report about the lack of cryptocurrency regulations in Turkey. The report is extremely detailed. He also mentioned about setting up a regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies as well as their own cryptocurrency coin for Turkey. And what will it be called? Well, the Turkcoin, of course. Now, the deputy does make a number of policy recommendations aimed at strengthening both the competitiveness of Turkey's distributed ledger technology sector and the government's regulatory capabilities regarding cryptocurrencies. What do you think? Do you think this is just another fad? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, go ahead and do so. Don't forget to ring the bell for post notifications. Thanks for watching and happy trading.